In 1951, newly crowned Miss America Yolande Betbys refused to pose in swimsuit shots for Catalina Swimwear, which was at the time manufactured by California-based clothing company Pacific Knitting Mills. This hurt the company's image so bad that it had to come up with a PR stunt to counter the beauty queen snub fast. And so they thought, why not come up with their own pageant to outshine the bad rep? Something bigger than featuring the beauty and wit of American women. Something that sought to represent women from around the world. They had their winning formula in place, and in 1952, the Miss Universe pageant was launched in Long Beach, California, with 30 international contestants competing for the crown. Armi Kusela of Finland was the first ever title holder. 67 years later, the multi-billion-dollar franchise has featured faces that launched 1,000 ships, all fighting for the same thing, to be the last woman standing and bring home the crown. So, what does it take for a candidate to take home the coveted title? Confidence, the ability to articulate ambition, a demonstration of authenticity, credibility, and grace under pressure. These are the standards by which the Miss Universe organization defines their winner. A former judge admitted to Forbes in 2011 that looks are a predominant deciding factor too. All these criteria are determined by two scoring systems. One is called a mention system, where judges are asked to score a contestant with a 1 when they display a high skill level and a 0 if their skill level is average or below average. Another is points-based and is usually used in the preliminaries, where each judge is said to assign a score to a contestant to be averaged in with the scores of the panel. When the stakes are that high, the pressure is on a different level too, and the candidate's road to Miss Universe is proof. So, what does a contestant's typical preparation look like? Well, there are 3 key things all candidates must consider and work for to get that crown. First is physical beauty, the right body proportions, commanding the room with their walk, and making a statement through fashion.
Unlike perhaps way back in 1996 when gaining weight as the winner of Miss Universe is a big issue for Donald Trump, these days it doesn't matter. Even if you're a plus size model, even if you're rid thin, but if you feel good about yourself, presenting yourself that way, walang problema doon. The minute naman that you win the national pageant, then that is where you get to be assigned to a specific fitness trainer.
Preparing one's body for the main event could get pretty intense. Chanel Delau, Curaçao's representative in 2016, was reported to work out twice a day to get the perfect silhouette, focusing on cardio training in the morning and strength training at night. Candidates also have disciplined food intake, and for each contestant, all with different body mass indices, the diet pretty much varied too. Rabia Mateo, the Philippines' bet for this year's Miss Universe pageant, revealed that the target for her was 1,600 to 1,700 calories per day. She focuses on a protein-rich diet to gain more muscle. Miss Universe is not Miss Universe without the candidate's signature walk. Tsunami, Cobra, Infinity, Lava. The walk has to be iconic, done with conviction and confidence.
You practice your walk on heels. So when you practice your walk on heels, it has to be done in a venue that somehow simulates what the actual place for screening will be.
The walk comes hand in hand with the wardrobe selection unique to each country. Prior to the creation of the look, the candidates get to have a say on what the dresses convey. Like Adeline Castellino, India's representative for the pageant in 2020, who decided to bring the country's textile industry to life in her national costume and evening gown. Miss Universe 2018, Catriona Gray, also had a hand in telling the unique Filipino story with a modern Filipina take that featured local textiles. Second is the great deal of mental preparation for the Q&A portion of the pageant. With questions ranging from social, political, and cultural topics, candidates have to be well-versed with as many perspectives on local and world issues to form a well-rounded answer. But the contestants are encouraged to refrain from being too opinionated. Making a controversial or overly political statement is a big no-no. The top 3 candidates also get the same question in the grand finale, all of which need to be answered comprehensively and confidently in a span of a few seconds. And we've all seen how that pans out, for better or for worse.
I want to show the world, the universe rather, that I am confidently beautiful with a heart. Thank you.
So when a candidate has got the physical and mental training down pat, performs above expectations on the big day, and literally ticks all of the boxes, is that a solid guarantee for them to take home the big crown? Well, apparently not.
In pageantry, you may not know it, but a pageant organizer who's smart enough will always allocate a small portion of the entire 100% to the actual deportment, the behavior of the candidate all throughout the pre-pageant. Because nobody wants to work with a potential winner who is stubborn or hard-headed or hard to discipline.
The third ingredient to the road for the crown are the rules and restrictions that can pretty much dictate a candidate's lifestyle under the public eye. There are do's and don'ts to get a fighting chance in the competition, and some can continue after the coronation. One of these outstanding rules, you ask? Be single. And this rule goes way back in the history of Miss Universe. Back in the older years, when Miss USA Mary Leona Gage won the title in 1957, she was stripped of her title just one day after the competition, after reports surfaced of her being a mother of 2 and having been married twice. Having a clean track record is also important when representing the Miss Universe brand. This means no leaked nudes, no involvement in questionable films or magazines, no controversies, no nothing. Perhaps a gray area in place is cosmetic surgery. While the pageant aims to be a reflection of the world we live in, contestants are not encouraged from going under the knife prior to the big day. But there is no hard and fast rule that prohibits contestants from doing so either. And would you believe that even making friendships have to be somewhat monitored? Some contestants are actually urged to refrain from making their friendships with candidates public, or even pose for a photo together. This hidden rule goes for Miss Universe representatives that represent countries conflicting with each other to avoid criticism and major side-eye, much like when Miss Israel and Miss Lebanon posed for a group shot together in 2015. These days, the pandemic has taken all these appointments for training for the coveted crown more difficult, with social distancing, stricter protocols, and virtual meetings. However, the stakes remain high.
People say that joining a pageant is just having your hair and makeup done, wearing a nice gown and everything, but it is something for the iron-willed women. Because it's really a survival of the fittest. You cannot survive a national pageant if, number 1, if you're alone. Number 2, if you may have a team around you, but the team is incomplete. Or number 3, if your heart is not in it, really, because it's going to be demanding.
So, if you dream of becoming the next Miss Universe, just remember that it's not all glitz and glamour. It's the road to the destination that makes the crown.